Hey nerds! It's Geeks of Casadia. Geeks of Casadia. Geeks of Casadia. Exclusive tabletop game podcast for the Pacific Northwest. All levels of gamers. Analog gaming. Tabletop news. Dungeons and Dragons and magic. Stupid, mindless banter.
There will definitely be some. That's probably our best. That's our best feature.
You are listening to the Geeks of Casadia podcast, featuring Steve Hobbs, Paul Anderson, and Joe Costa.
Hey geeks, Blue Samurai here. Welcome to episode, I don't know what the number is.
29 or 30.
29 or 30.
I think we skipped one. I don't think there's an episode 27 on
Oh,
YouTube.
maybe just what? You know what?
I messed that one up. So
That'll just be one of those
All
new
right.
things the fans catch in years to come.
Well, I am your host, Blue Samurai. I am here with... We'll go this way.
I'm Rebecca.
I'm Doug.
I am still Paul.
And we are your podcast into tabletop games. We do interviews of designers and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, the sign's right here. Check out the
Like
Facebook
this.
page. We have a big program for you today. In fact, we will start off, I think, with a little interview of a game store owner in Estonia.
Really? How did
Yes.
we get a game store in Estonia?
Well,
Wow.
you guys all paid me to go to Estonia as your roving reporter.
We're nice that way.
Around Europe. No, actually, I was...
Is Estonia the gaming capital of the world? Is that why you went there?
No. There's probably two game stores, but I visited one of them. They go from Tallinn, Estonia. I'll be talking to him. He's got a game store called Lori Inn. I always screw up the name, but it's Lori Inn. It's a forest in Middle Earth.
Cool.
Yeah, it's true.
Cool.
It's true.
Sounds
Did you
familiar.
know that was there when you went there, or was that a surprise to you?
Well, you know, when he said it, I went, oh yeah, that kind of, yeah, I guess so. Yeah. That was pretty cool.
So when you were in the forest laying down and doing stuff,
Mhm.
were there elves and stuff running around?
There was no elves.
Oh, boo.
There was
That
a
you
moose.
saw.
There was a moose. There was snakes.
There were snakes.
There was squirrels, but I didn't see any. There's
Yeah.
flying squirrels in Estonia.
Oh, wow.
But most of the time I was sleeping outside, very cold,
You did a lot of
And-
sleeping.
and pooping in a hole. But anyway, with that, I was part of an infantry battalion. We'll do that later. But anyway, what else we got going on? Paul, what's the con news?
We got some cons coming up here, and I need to refocus. I got brand new glasses, so I need to relearn how to see out of them. So please give me a moment.
Bifocals.
Yes, bifocals. June 2nd and 3rd, we've got Lilac City Comic Con in Spokane, Washington. June 8th.
Is that a lesbian thing that I should know about?
I don't know.
Lila?
I think it's got to do with flowers.
Oh. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Rebecca will be there.
You can still go.
Yeah, she'll be interviewing people.
June 8th through 10th, they've got Con. There's no Call Me Pass. That's for
Mhm.
people who like to plan conventions. It doesn't sound like fun to me,
No.
but I do like planning conventions.
Con.
But if you want to learn how to talk to people about planning conventions and networking, that's the con for you. June 17th through 18th, it's the Seattle Retro Gaming, which I think is computer games and pinball machines, stuff like that. And June 23rd, don't forget Owl's Fair. That's Faire in Thurston County.
Fun times for all.
Yeah.
And we got to plug our two cons, our two sponsors,
yeah,
right?
After that, in the
Yeah.
relatively near future, we have Dragonflight.
Yes, I'll
in-
be there.
in August on days.
Doug will be there.
Doug will be there.
Yeah, I'll probably be there.
I'll be there too.
Yes, I will be there.
Yes, August.
I'm gone beginning of August, but I will be there. for
24th
any-
through 26th.
All right.
I'm hoping to catch a couple of those days.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping we're going to have a table there, so if we do,
That'd be
stop
cool.
by and say hi.
Yes.
And then, of course, there's that one that happens in January. What is that called?
It's like OrcaCon.
OrcaCon.
WhaleCon.
It's the
Oh, no,
OrcaCon.
OrcaCon,
Yeah,
yes.
that's January, what, 11th, 12th, 13th,
I
something
think we
like
should
that.
have done Killer WhaleCon leading into OrcaCon, but that's just me.
Oh, well, you know what I wanted to do is I wanted to call it OrcACon.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
like the
pretty
cut
cool,
of your
right?
jib,
I know, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Nice.
But OrcaCon, Pacific Northwest feel to it.
Yeah,
You know?
it's cool.
Yeah, buy your tickets. They're online. Go to orcacon.org.
Yep.
Buy your tickets. Dragonflight, you can still buy tickets there. I think there's still rooms available.
Yeah, both of them, they're as cheap as they're going to be right now.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think Dragonfly still has rooms. We're not sure if OrcaCon still has rooms, but we certainly have badges.
Yeah.
And
Well,
maybe
yep.
we,
if it doesn't work out, there's another hotel. Too.
Yeah, and check it out.
So Kickstarter stuff. Well, before we do the Kickstarter stuff,
Yeah.
I forgot to mention. I said we have a full show today, and we got this interview, but I forgot about we were doing a review too. So that comes up afterwards. So,
Wow,
everyone show our
To
books
the
we're doing.
yeah.
Mordenkainen's
Allowed to
Tome of
say
Foes.
hell.
I wish you could
You
touch
can.
it.
You can.
It feels
You
very
can.
nice.
I know it's soft and you can't really tell that from like sound or vision.
And right now it is out
So
in
soft.
your game stores,
We all-
not available online yet until the 26th,
All
I
have the
believe,
alternative
right?
Cover. We can't even show the regular.
Yeah, I know.
cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I'll
you
go
can
grab one
flash
for
it.
the review.
Okay,
Alright.
that'd be great. So Kickstarter news. Doug, do you have anything?
Luxor just hit Kickstarter. It's their second Kickstarter for it. Only because they just got a recent nomination for the Spiel for the Game of the Year.
Cool, cool.
Okay.
That's back with Pioneers as kind of an add-on. That was another recommended game for Game of the Year. So that's all I got right now.
Also, this just came up today.
Sure.
From WYSIWYG Games, we got Z First Impact Opus 1. We interviewed these guys.
Yeah, they did the Planet of the Apes thing, right?
Planet of the Apes thing, and also they've got this really cool looking zombie game that looks terrifying. Because I'm really afraid of zombies.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Not afraid of killing them though.
No, killing them is fine.
Yes.
Imagining them during Dungeons and Dragons is fine. But I'm not sure I can play this game. It looks scary. So, but that just kicked
Got
today. You've got a
idea,
month to
right?
get in on that. It looks great.
Well, and Doug, you've been doing a bunch of game reviews. I know we're going to do one probably next week that you've already dropped into the file. What's the future hold for more game reviews?
Right now we're working on getting copies of all of the Spiel des Jahres nominees, trying to go through those. Most of them are available in the U.S. Luxor is just coming out soon through Kickstarter. But it's kind of going to have to wait to get some of the ones that are only available in Germany. Or
Okay.
spending the $100 on Amazon to
Wow.
order it and get it
Yeah.
and ship it here.
Just wait.
Yeah, probably just gonna wait.
Right. Well, if you're a game developer or a game company, you could just send some this
If you
way.
want us
Just-
to take a look at your game,
Yes.
play it,
in fact, if you
talk
want to
about
reach
it.
us,
you
reach
can-
us at
geeksofcascadia@gmail.com
That's right.
or on the Twitters or Instagram or Facebook. It's Geeks of Cascadia. Super
contact
easy.
us. If you want us to review a game, then Doug will review your game for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will review the game.
He's really good about it. And in fact, I think he spends all of his money in Kickstarter stuff too. So,
No, not
No?
so much. No,
No?
I've kind of
Okay.
been cooling it off on Kickstarter stuff.
That's good.
all right.
Yeah.
Well, with that, do you guys want to go into the interview?
You betcha.
From Vago?
Do I?
Yeah.
Do I ever?
Yeah, he is awesome. All right, let's listen to Vago from Tallinn, Estonia. Hey geeks, this is Blue Samurai here, and I am in Tallinn, Estonia. And some of you might know that I'm in the military. I do the reserves or National Guard, and I got the opportunity to come to Estonia. And of course, I had to Google tabletop games in Estonia, and this store came out. And I have the store owner, Vago. Okay, Vago. Tell me about the name of your store. Did I get Lorraine or Lorraine?
It's supposed to be Lorien,
Lorraine. Okay.
Yeah, like,
okay. Okay.
mythical forest from the Lord of the Rings saga.
Okay. Okay.
So
That's good.
it's some geek thinking into it, and yeah, just better than dump or
Okay.
place in a corner or
Yes.
or hole or like our players like to call us.
Right. And I noticed when I Googled and I saw your website, you claim to have the largest selection of tabletop games and just games in general in all of Estonia.
Like if we count different items we have in stock plus the stock we have,
Yes.
then yes, we have.
And I noticed there wasn't a lot of game stores when I pulled it up.
We consider maybe having two competitors in board games or card games even. Card games, we consider we don't have a competition. With board games, we have maybe 2 competitors after except us.
Right. Oscar is one of your employees. I met him
Oscar
the other
is
day.
somewhere working at the moment.
He said there's another game store that is miniatures mostly.
Yeah, there's a miniature store. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But it's solely focused on war, like Games Workshop items.
Right. And how long have you owned this store?
We opened in 4th of September in 2014.
Wow. Okay. And you are obviously a gamer yourself, right? This is why you did this?
Dealers don't use.
Okay.
I yes, of course, I need to be in focus what's happening and so on. But I like to look myself as a dealers don't use. So if I consider, one day I was so bored that I accidentally counted all the games that we have, recommended playtime, and I got more than 2,000 hours. So that's like a lot of time putting into just playing every single game once, and I just don't have that kind of.
And before you opened the store, obviously you must have been into...
No.
You just got into this because it was interesting, or you had friends that did this?
I just actually drive by one day and they saw this place they had a signs for rent. This place looked awful, and I said like, yeah, I have some spare time, so let's open a restaurant.
Okay, this is interesting. Okay.
That didn't happen. Getting regulated, getting licensed for, after 35,000 euros, I was almost ready to open, and I didn't have any inventory. So kitchen wasn't even. We haven't even started with the kitchen, so we had to rebuild the ceiling. We had to tear up most of the foundations we had in here and basically rebuild half of the house. So it was so time and money consuming that we just we're gonna do something. Okay, Magic Players doesn't have a place to play at the moment. Let them come here. And next thing, people are starting to ask, do you have Settlers of Catan? Do you have I don't know, what was do you have Power Grid? Do you have other card games?
So you must have, did somebody tell you, or did you see other people playing Magic the Gathering?
I've been playing Magic the Gathering since 2002.
Okay.
So quite a history, traveled the world, seen everyone, meet everyone. And we just didn't have dedicated gaming place in Estonia or in Tallinn in general.
So how would you get Magic before your store? How would you get cards?
We had one store in shopping mall in the city center next to school. So they had the player base was there. Just a place to go to was some office in rental apartment, rental building. And it was just so small and stinky, and it was basically it wasn't dedicated. It was just when there was Friday Night Magic, people just went there and they played. But I know for sure that having a stable place to come and it just helps grow in community and boost the sales.
So, tell me, is Magic the Gathering the primary focus of gaming here in Estonia or Tallinn, or do you see a lot of tabletop games as well? Is the community growing?
There's a little bit everything. If I see people transitioning from one game to another and shifting maybe back later, but people are willing to try out different things and explore. Experiment and having how can I say, some miniature players we have here have for sure tried Magic, have for sure tried Yu-Gi-Oh or even Pokemon, but from Magic I don't see, from miniature games I don't see people coming back to Magic.
Okay.
The miniature is just it's something to do with the age.
Yeah.
Because, for example, a lot of miniature players are old folks who just like to sit in their basement home and paint the things because it relieves stress afterwards, and it's different world.
Yeah,
Miniatures and.
What about Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing games? I notice you do sell it here, so there must be a small community here, or
I can
maybe-
tell by the amount of dice we have sold in, let's say, last year. Every Estonian citizen has at least 2 sets of Dungeons and Dragons dice.
Oh,
So
you do have a larger community here of Dungeons and Dragons.
yeah, but I just don't see the people. They're mostly playing in someone's kitchen or in mama's
sure.
basement or.
Sure.
And we are missing a lot of really good DMs, international DMs, mainly English speaking, because as people are like sent here for different missions, like military reasons or work related, they just like to steam off, and Dungeons and Dragons is one of the ways to do that.
All right. Well, I love your store. The fact that you can kind of just come in here and casually play a game and maybe buy a couple of drinks, and I think yesterday Oscar was saying, yeah, I might keep this a little more open past the closing because some people are playing some games here. You have a very welcoming atmosphere here. I just want to mention that.
People are we're like in Estonia, everything is at the moment, all the businesses, everything is so mall oriented. If you want to do the business, you have to go to the shopping mall somewhere. We have like 3 or 4 bigger shopping malls. You need to go in there to make some business. If you want to have a dedicated place for like geeks or nerds or whatever we call our community, because you need to have a dedicated space. You cannot you cannot have tables, chairs, everything in the shopping malls because it's so ridiculously expensive, and you cannot be in the city center. So having a smaller dedicated store where we don't have that many work buys, even though we have big windows and huge signs and so on, and we have like 100,000 people passing us daily. Having a dedicated place just keeps people coming back. If you come here, you come for a reason. You come to shop, or you come to play, or you just.
And I don't know how far. I don't know how old you are and how far back you go, but when I've been in Estonia, I've been in Estonia for about 2 weeks right now, and being part of this NATO exercise, a lot of the Estonians have been telling me about their history and the culture here, and the fact that there was a Soviet time, there was a little bit of oppression. Was there? I don't know if you remember any of that, but in terms of like tabletop gaming, was there not that much access as the rest of Europe?
I remember my father had like a huge selection of puzzle games. How can you call it, those metal things that you twist and turn?
Oh yeah.
Puzzles. And of course, in Soviet Union, they had like huge board game factories. I don't even remember the series, but they had like huge amount of international games made differently. Like I don't know. There's a where you have to chase the military guys with castles and. It was in my when I was growing up. It was already there. I just found out like years later that it's a American game, and
okay.
So they have like lots of chess based or Japanese, Chinese games. They of course in Soviet Union they had the access to those games, and they were like really cheap, and of course we had.
So you still had access to D&D or Games Workshop?
No,
type?
no,
Oh, okay.
no,
Okay.
not that kind of thing.
So it was only from the Soviet Union.
Only, yeah.
Okay,
I don't
all
remember having Western toys or. I was born in '84, so
Okay.
I went to school in '91. That made Estonia almost free by that time.
Yeah.
So a lot of my, I played outside a lot. So when I was a kid, and in school, then of course we had some influences coming in. But generally, I found Magic for myself about in high school.
Yeah.
And I haven't tried anything else. So
Okay.
I just don't have time for that.
But clearly, as I look around here, and I was here yesterday, I saw people playing other games besides Magic. So it's really amazing. I'm looking behind you, and I see Mountains of Madness. I played that game. That's a pretty pretty cool game.
Actually, I wanted to play that myself.
Uh-huh.
I even opened it from the box.
Sure,
and I
sure.
read the rules, and I just haven't had time or company to play it.
Right.
Of course, just a few days ago I got the Unlock free, the new part coming out. I was like really expecting that. We played 3 hours straight, all the missions, and it sucked. So comparing with first two, it was like garbage.
Right.
So of course I have tried a lot of things. I haven't tried our most popular items because getting them off the shelf and putting them for display, it's just they're selling faster than I can.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, a lot of the American business owners have the same thing you do. It's like, I'm always busy. I wish I could play more games, but I can't. I gotta work.
Yeah, some friends like, oh yeah, you have like a board game store, and you can do whatever you want. It's no.
Right.
You have to get drinks, you have to get snacks, you have to order stuff.
So I have to ask you this question. So in America, we always talk about these Euro games, and we like they're kind of popular amongst the tabletop gaming community. What Euro games? Do you call them just games here?
No, we still
just call them Euro games?
They're still Euro games.
Okay, all right.
Like there's some manufacturers like okay, let's say publishers like Days of Wonder or Yellow.
Yeah.
Everything that comes out, they're Euro game.
Sure, okay.
So it's still a phrase here, and we don't see it. We don't have American games.
You don't have American games? Well, you have Magic here.
Yeah,
and D&D. So
but we don't call.
You don't call them American games.
We
You
don't
just call them games.
Yeah, they're games. So
Isn't that strange that you call the games games from America, but the Euro games are from Europe, and you're in Europe?
To be honest, I haven't even looked into the history why they are Euro games.
Yeah.
Or, maybe there's something to do with it, Euro themed or. Yeah, it's a fun question for me to find out what's that about.
And so, what's hot in Estonia in terms of tabletop gaming?
Everything that's hot in Board Game Geek.
Okay.
Of course, there's like traditional things that work by people are asking Catan, Carcassonne, Ticket to Ride, but we're trying to get past that.
Right.
Like the most entry games we're looking are the Fun Company, social games, Codenames, Splendor, Exploding Kittens. They're everyone is asking from us what's the word game? I can't remember now. Black Box, Cards Against Humanity.
Oh yeah.
Everyone is asking about that, but we don't have that here.
Right.
So we have the UK edition, but it's like all the catchphrases and everything in there is UK based. So
and I understand. Obviously, you are you sell the Magic, the Gathering. You have tournaments here. Do you have pre-releases that come here?
We try to host all the product that Wizards of the Coast publishes, Magic related. We are having all the tournaments, Legacy, Standard, Modern, whatever, Brawl, whatever they come up. We need to focus as we are. How can I say? We are VPN A+ store, so they expect us to have everything.
Right.
But as lots of Magic players know by now, Magic, they're releasing so many products that it gets so, how can I say, diverse.
Right.
That everyone is like looking their own thing, but the amount of people still stays the same. So they're taking away some players from one format, putting them to the second category, and everything gets divided.
Right. And what I loved here is when I came in here, I was offered to play a game right away. So I guess if any Americans were visiting Estonia and come to Tallinn, they should come to your store. And
We have some how can I say, they already moved here. They
expatriates.
They have found their cause now here.
Okay.
They have families here. We have lots of Magic players who come by regularly, who live here, and it's how can I say, as it just connects people. You're welcome here. You know how to play. You come here. You say, oh yeah, I know how to play, and next thing you're like invited to someone's birthday.
Yeah,
and,
no, I think you're right. I think if I were to move here and hung out your store, I could probably get a new set of game friends and a little community.
Exactly.
So before we go, can you tell the listeners how they contact you, like social media? I'm sure you have website, Twitter, any of those things.
We're on Facebook. We try to post things that are happening here. You can just Google Lorien. You can visit them on Facebook.
Okay. Well, I better like that then, huh? Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
We have reached that level where organic growth is kind of stopped now.
Okay.
We are not looking to invest in that
Sure,
to get more
sure.
likes. We just like to see the organic growth to continue. But for that we haven't spent any amount of resources on advertising, and still we have community growing and more Magic players, more board game people are just as we're trying to keep our stock as closest to board game geek top 100. Most of the popular games are available, and people are coming to ask those.
Sure.
That I have seen.
And so you don't have Twitter or
We don't
email that anyone
You
wants
can
to
you
email?
can contact us from Facebook or from our website lorien.e, and of course Google Magic the Gathering Estonia, and if we're not in top 3, then you spelled Estonia wrong.
Okay. And you're pretty much open every day?
We're open every day, even national holidays. I can tell that for the last 2 years we've been open every single day, Christmas days included.
Wow, okay.
Because it's,
all right.
I don't know, was
you
it
wanna-
last year? It was Friday, so Friday night Magic, Magic players, Christmas, they just don't fit together. It's like addiction. You wanna, on every Friday we have drafts here.
That's right. You want to feed that addiction.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to play Magic on Christmas Day.
And I think we have like midsummer holidays coming up. This year they're on weekend. So probably we're not having that many people as usually, but we still have people just who doesn't have nothing to do because everything is closed and people are just out of the city.
Typical hours?
Yeah, we open every day noon and gonna be here until 10 p.m. So
Okay.
after work you can come by. We start our Magic tournaments every day at 6. If we have most of the nights have Magic tournaments. If you have a board game thing, you can come here and play our selection. That's not that big, but it's still, you can ask. If you have, mainly also, most of our board game people are, if you're gonna buy a huge, big, expensive game, like, I don't know, Twilight Imperium, it's gonna take you 12 hours to play with someone.
Yes,
And
that's true.
You
Yeah.
just don't want people having it in your home.
Right, yeah.
And finding a public library open for 12 hours is kind of hard.
Right,
If you're gonna
right.
let me know that you're gonna spend 12 hours here,
Right.
I'm gonna be here just to look at you after you finish.
That is awesome. Well, thank you, Vago.
Thank you, Steve.
And again, listeners, that is, now I'm going to pronounce it wrong, but I'll spell it. Lorien, which is Lorien. And it's in Tallinn, Estonia. And they are very welcoming. I just wandered in here, and there's like, hey, you want to play a game? So it's a great place to hang out when you're here. So with that, thank you very much, and I will catch you later, I hope.
That is so cool. You got to go to a game store in Estonia. Estonia is in the Baltics.
Yes,
That
it
was
is.
awesome.
It is. right between Finland and Russia.
Oh my God, his
Wow.
accent.
That's very
Jeez,
cool.
upbeat.
Yeah.
That's super
Love
cool.
it. Love the Estonian accent's one of my
Yeah.
favorites.
Yeah.
Okay then. So I was hoping we can talk about it later.
Before
but-
we go too far,
Okay,
a brief
okay.
correction from the con news.
Oh.
I misspoke. Lilac City Comic Con is in Spokane, which is the Lilac City, and it's June 2nd and 3rd. And it's at the convention center, and they've got Lou Ferrigno, who everyone loves and has been nice to everyone always.
Well, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember. Lou, if you're listening,
It's okay. It's okay.
you were
Let it
kind of
out.
mean to me.
Jeez, Lou, do you remember?
It was in the late 70s.
Do you remember?
And I really liked Incredible Hulk, and
Wow,
you were a
Lou.
little mean.
Lou Ferrigno, you need
Just-
to make amends.
Just
yo.
signed your name, that's all you did. I was kind of hoping a little bit more and didn't happen.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, scarred for life.
I know.
Maybe a
Jeez.
quick
I know.
hug or something.
However, if you were to come on our podcast,
Lou,
water under the bridge, my
That's
friend.
right.
Water under the
I
bridge.
know you're listening.
Yes.
come on, Lou.
Which, by the way, I just thank you for paying for my trip to Estonia.
Mhm.
I would like
No
to
problem.
visit a convention in Germany, so let's all talk about that.
I was thinking we could send you to Rome and Greece and stuff like that
Why
for
not?
conventions.
Because all that podcast
Yeah.
money,
Yes,
we
that's
just, we're
right.
just rolling.
Yeah,
in it.
let's go to Essen
Woo!
this year.
Yeah.
That'd be great. We should all go there.
Yes.
Love to.
So, what do we got next?
Next, I think we're going to talk about Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes.
Oh,
Morty.
Mm-hmm.
Morty.
I have the regular version.
Again,
Very
available
nice.
here at game stores right now,
Uh-huh.
and available
Not
on
as soft.
online at Amazon. I think on the 26th. Am I right,
Something
Doug?
like that.
Yeah, it hits regular retailers, so online retailers and all that stuff.
So that means to make this a special interview or review, I got to get this up before then. So with that, let's go in the review. Hey Geeks, Blue Samurai here, and we are doing our review of Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, which came out to game stores on the 18th, I believe, and we rushed to pick it up at our favorite game
Yeah.
stores.
Yes, we
Mine
did.
happens to be
Yes,
at
we did.
Games Plus, where I picked up mine. Paul picked up his at.
Around the table,
And
with
you-
Washington.
Around the table, and the first few got the alternative cover.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
I got mine
Badass.
in Mox.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mox.
At Mox.
I'm sorry,
Only-
what?
I was working there this weekend as a judge for a Magic event, so
Okay.
they
Okay.
give me store credit. and
Oh, okay.
That's kind of cool.
That's
They
awesome.
had a bunch of these, so I took the best looking one. And
Does Don know that you bought
Yes, he
some at a
does.
store? Okay. All right.
By the way, Doug works at Games Plus.
He does.
I do.
One
I
might
work
think
here.
you would buy
Yes.
it there.
Yes, and thank you for letting us
Yes.
podcast from your back.
Yeah.
Hosting.
Appreciate
Thank
that.
you, Doug.
So, folks, we got a great treat for you. We've reviewed the whole thing. We each took a section, and we're going to go over the whole book. Hopefully, then you'll see this, and you'll go, I'm going to order it. Yes, Rebecca.
I was just wondering, since you call yourself Blue Samurai all
Yes.
the time, because you are, how come you don't ever like show up in samurai gear? Like, wouldn't that be cool?
Maybe next
Samurai?
time. Maybe we'll
You
do
have
that.
some?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we'll do that.
Just
I'll
put
think
that.
about it. I got a sword.
All right.
I got a couple swords.
Okay.
But
Sorry.
we've got this amazing book that we're going to do here. So let's just all kind of dive in first, kind of the overview of this. This is by the lead designers by Mike Merles and Jeremy Crawford. You'll see their names very familiar with other D&D products. Also, you can go in the book here. What great artists! I can't we
the
all
art is
agree that the
fantastic.
art is amazing.
Especially the cover of the alt. I'm going to buy.
Yes.
I'm going to buy a black van and have this painted on.
Yes.
It's going to be fantastic. I'm going to put a table in back, and all I'm going to do is drive around and play D&D with people.
Nice. You can have a
Right,
or-
you should definitely do that. That's not weird.
Not even the slightest.
And I think it was really good for both DMs and players. I think it had a good
Oh, yeah.
mix in there. Doug, you do a lot of DMing, so what do you think about that?
I thought it was great. I do like that they give information in the chapter that I read on all of the demon lords and all of the devil lords, archdevils, and all of that.
That was cool.
Those were really nice. I do like all of the new monsters that they've got in the back, so it gives me a
Right.
lot of more stuff to work with if I do start doing, rather than doing a pre-build campaign for the group that I'm running now, do my own ones. So it gives me lots of leeway that way.
What do you guys think about Mordenkainen's little comments that he has in there? Little notes?
I like them. They're funny.
Pretty good.
I like not as funny as Xanathar.
Yeah.
Xanathar's
Well,
funny.
yeah.
He was super cute, and I
Yeah.
kind of had
He
expectations.
gets his digs on Elminster.
Well, there is an
He's sarcastic.
there's an
Morty
explanation. It says
is-
disclaimer very in the
I call
front.
him
We
Morty.
asked Morton King to write humorous disclaimer for this book, and we got this response: the day I start writing frivolous disclaimers for game manuals, particularly one riddled with text stolen from my notes,
Yes.
is the day I retire from wizardry and abandon all self-respect.
Okay.
Well,
What is that?
that's Morton King.
I got his.
I think he's a chaotic
his,
neutral
his
dude.
cutting kind of sarcasm. Oh, that was neat.
Yeah, that was pretty good. By the way, Morton Caden is actually Gary Gygax's character that he used,
Yeah.
the father of D&D, when he was around, and that was his character. Well, with that, let's
Can we call
jump
him
into
Morty?
it. Huh?
Can we call him Morty?
You can call him Morty.
I'm
You
not
can call him
going
Morty.
to.
No.
So let's jump
Too
into this
afraid.
because we each had a chapter. The first one is the Blood War. So Doug, let's dive in.
So this was weird jumping into it, not knowing too much about it. It's basically an ongoing war between demons and devils.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a difference between the two. The devils kind of lord over the 9 levels of hell, where the demons are kind of spawned from the abyss. So they've got their differences in that way, and they also have their own different viewpoints. The ones that kind of understand are the devil's viewpoints, because they're basically fighting back the demons from the abyss. Otherwise, if they didn't, then they would gain control of all the other planes in the universe. So I kind of understand their viewpoint.
So you're saying you're pro-devil.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
I felt like they were
It
very
makes sense.
structured, and
Yeah.
the
Ouch,
demons
okay.
were like.
It is-
Or the demons are definitely more chaotic in the way that they are organized. They're just kind of throwing monstrosities at the devils.
Doesn't one of
They're
them want to?
both bad.
Doesn't one of them want to control the universe, and one of them wants to destroy the universe, or something like that?
I did find that there was a lot of good storylines in there that you could use as a DM. Let's say you want to start an adventure, maybe in one of the planes, or maybe they have to go into one of the planes to retrieve something and get out. I found it was pretty useful to be able to use that maybe as a DM.
Yeah, that it gives you like all the 9 layers of hell that's there, who rules it. It gives you different information on different types of cults for some of the devil lords, or the devils, and some of the demon lords, and how you can kind of put those into your game as well, with special rules for those.
You think
And
you
stuff
could
like
find
that.
yourself using any of this stuff?
Probably, I think so. I did have an idea as I was looking through this earlier, is doing like, some people do evil campaigns with like evil characters.
Yeah.
Starting people out is kind of like the low levels of one of these cults, and kind of going from there, seeing how it progresses.
I saw it. I thought it was pretty cool when you can go in there and they showed the different cults you can have in there with the different powers, and then being able to use that in a campaign. Like I was thinking, man, I want to get back into DMing, and I could see where I could have some characters come in there and they fight this cult, and then maybe that leads them into one of the planes or something like that. Did you find any of the monsters pretty interesting? The devil ones, the devil
ones.
Just
I
your
did
section.
write down a few. We're gonna talk about this.
Yeah,
later.
we'll talk about it later. Yeah.
But the Cybriax is just terrifying to look at.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the artwork on Zuktmoy, if I'm saying that right. She's kind of the demon lord of like all of the decay and the fungus and all that.
Right.
And she's got, if I flip to it here, the artwork. This artwork is her.
Oh yeah.
and
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It is great.
That's
It
great.
is. It is. She's the Lord of Fungus, so she probably has some good cheeses, perhaps.
She's a
Maybe.
fun guy.
I don't know. Yeah. So with that, let's check out the elves.
The
Paul,
elves.
you had the elves.
I had the elves. Boy, that's a big section. There's a lot of information on elves from the very beginning of how elf kind came to being when Coralon created them and got in a fight, and the elves spawned from her blood.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. And then with the confrontation with Lolth. Lolth.
Screw Lolth.
So Lolth trying
You
to
mean Loth, right?
Lolth.
Loth.
It's
Loth.
Lolth. I don't know.
Loth.
Not
Right?
mispronouncing things is my thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Do you
sorry.
pronounce
like
the
wolf to
second
me.
L?
It's
Is the second
included
L
in
silent?
playing D&D.
Yes.
Mispronouncing everything.
That's right. How could we know? It's only a written thing.
I think Loaf is her twin sister, right?
Wolf and
I didn't see that in the book.
Oh, okay.
No,
Alright.
yeah, it's like she was a high elf, and decided to become a physical being.
Well, that's how the
It's
drow
female.
came about, right?
Yes, yeah, they were her followers, or the drow. And then while they were fighting, the Raven Queen made a mad power grab, and got banished to the Shadowfell, and her followers became the Shadow Kai. And I think, I'm just going to guess this here right now. I think the next adventure to come out is going to be something like Touch of the Raven Queen. The way they hammer
That's a
on the
cool
Raven
name.
Queen in this book so much.
That's actually cool.
But that would be really,
That's
really
great.
cool.
You should write a book.
I should write a book, but I suspect they've already done that.
Probably.
Or they have it in the works, especially the way they talk about it on Dragon Talk all the time. So there's that. There's that. So that's really cool. I love reading about the Raven Queen. She's so very interesting. And there's like new elf subraces that you can play. There's the Eladrin, the Sea Elf, and the Shatter Kai if your DM allows you to play the bad people. They've all got very cool perks.
Was there anything that is there a character? I know you play elves right now.
Yes.
Do you see yourself playing one of these new elves? that
I
came out?
don't know. I really kind of like just my wood elf. To tell you the truth, a straight up wood elf.
You gonna stick with the
Alright.
elves in your next campaign?
Next one, I'm gonna be a half elf.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah.
Cool, cool. And what about the next section?
My next section?
Yes.
I got halflings and gnomes as well, which I might have lost, but that's
I
okay.
think-
Then, no.
Back to the elves. I do like that they added the Eladrin. That way you can start to do Feywild adventures. 'Cause
Oh,
I
yeah,
had
yeah.
a previous campaign in 4th edition where we did a lot of stuff in the Feywild. So I'm kind of glad that they added some information on that and now have Eladrins as playable characters.
Yeah,
Can you play the Shadow Kai elves?
yeah.
I don't know.
You
Okay,
can now.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
can
you
now.
can now.
As of
Okay.
last week, Friday, you can now if your DM allows it. Everything's of course up to the DM.
Oh, I see. Your Constitution goes up 1, and you have resistance to necrotic damage. Interesting.
But yeah, that's kind of cool.
Whoa! As a bonus action, you can magically teleport.
Yeah, that's also
Wow,
very
that is
cool.
pretty cool. So
Yeah.
if you did that and maybe played a thief character, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
What would your alignment be? Just you'd have to be evil, wouldn't you?
Well, I mean, they're kind of neutral, though, aren't they?
have
They're
to
more
be,
neutral
yeah.
than anything. I mean, you could be anything.
Well, they
in these
kind of
characters,
in
but-
at the end of the day, they have to be serving the Raven Queen.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
I think it would make
I
for a
think
great
it'd be very
storyline.
cool.
Yeah,
I also got halflings and elves, which is a little shorter. They
gnomes.
have
right?
gnomes, halflings
Yes,
and gnomes.
yes.
Sorry, I think it's a little sizes. They group them together like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wizards.
Mm-hmm. But there's some on them a little bit deeper, a little more flavor stuff. Life as a halfling and what they like to do, and there's some cool stuff about the halfling gods and their myths. There's of course lots of fun tables for creating your halfling. There's a cool section in one of the gods about a halfling group battle tactics. Which
okay.
when they have to defend their area, they've got a number of defense maneuvers that they do. They're just imagining it's really kind of cool in your mind's eye. So very cool. Of course, they're halflings, so they're cute. As well are gnomes, and they're just another more flavor and deep character development for gnomes. Their traits and stuff. There is a cool new character, playable character called a deep gnome, which I really liked. And
Oh, I see that. Dark vision up to 120 feet.
yes, dark
That's pretty
vision up to
good.
120 feet. That is so cool.
You-
Just like dwarves.
Oh, and you have You have advantage on
Great.
dexterity check for stealth.
Yeah, they live in the Underdark, so they have to be able to see.
You know, I find that gnomes and halflings are underutilized. I don't see a lot of people playing those. Doug, you
I have a
see that
halfling
one?
in my group.
Do you?
Halfling bard.
Okay.
Cool.
She's I forgot what college she's in. It is College of Valor. So she's also going to be
College of
melee
Valor.
based.
That's a good. They got a great football team. Yeah, really good. Yeah.
Very hard to tackle those little ones,
Yes.
and they're so brave.
It just seems like that they are underutilized. But if you look into like the halfling and the gnomes, they really have pretty good stats, especially the halfling. It's got the luck. I think the luck ability in there.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody picks them up, and I don't know why. It's because they're short, or
Well,
I don't
It's
know.
lucky, not the
Is it
luck.
lucky? Yeah, sorry.
Because luck is a feat.
That's right.
That I found out.
That's right.
But yeah, lucky rerolling ones on the d20.
That's a big.
That's
deal.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I know Paul could use that.
I could certainly use that.
He could
Yes.
definitely.
Wow.
Me, I roll 20s a lot.
He does.
So anything more?
Well,
from all that?
there's just a bunch of the gnome deities as well.
Mhm.
So it's mainly a flavor for characters and deities.
Okay.
So it's still very cool.
Deities.
Deities, whichever.
Do you think you find yourself playing maybe a halfling or a gnome? in the
I
future?
have big plans to play halfling for our next full adventure.
Oh, where we
Yes.
start out at first level.
Start at first level.
What do you think you're gonna do? A halfling? What halfling?
Halfling,
thief?
halfling bard.
Interesting.
I have plans.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got some poems up your sleeve?
And one of my entertaining skills is going to be dance.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
I can, because you're a good dancer in real life.
I'm a super good dancer.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
This
Well,
I've never known.
well, let's moving on to the next chapter. We got dwarves
Saying
and Durgar.
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 Durgar. I always screw that up.
Durgar.
Rebecca, what do you got on that?
Well, this was cool. I learned that, okay, so all these guys, there's like a pantheon of dwarven gods also, and the main one is Morden. Not to be confused with Mordenkainen. I call them both Morty, but it's, yeah. Anyway.
Right.
So Morden supposedly crafted all these dwarves from iron and fire, and this is why he's their number one main god. And that's also why their thing that they do is crafting with iron and gold and metals, and they're all about perfection, and their work is beautiful, and they regard the things they make like one would regard their own children if they love them, and that's what they do. So apparently, when after all these dwarves were carved, they were all kind of content to settle on the earth or in the mountains or in the hills or whatever, except this one clan. They're all about clans. Clan Durgar, and they got this sudden idea in their heads that there's this treasure trove underground beyond where they've all dug down, and they want to keep digging until they find this treasure trove, and they're obsessed with this. And they keep digging and digging and digging. I mean, it separates the men from the boys. They climb over the corpses of their brothers, are still digging. They're trying to find this treasure. And all of a sudden they come into this cavern, and there's this like ancient brain that's like floating around, and there's all these mind flayers.
Oh, yeah.
Mind flayers.
Yes.
Mind flayers,
Yes.
yeah.
Go to
And,
Volo's guide. Check it out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it turns out they kind of, well, at least it's thought that they kind of sent the mind flayers, maybe kind of did this psionic spell on them on the to implant this obsession with to dig and dig and dig, so that they could hold this clan captive and enslave them, and not only enslave them, they performed these scientific experiments on them, these mental experiments and all this, and it was just cruel. It was just awful, and these Durgar just suffered for many years until this dude Laduger, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. Call him Laduger. He kind of rose to the front of the pack. He's the strongest. He's really strong. He's really just mentally stable, and he's like, this is shitty. Let's get my clan back to like, can I say that? Let's get,
We'll believe it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
He wanted, I can't say shitty.
No.
No.
That's
You can't
twice
say it
now.
twice.
Yes.
No, the time is gone.
And he wanted to get his group back to above the earth, and he had had enough. So he fought his way through, some of the 9 layers of the subterranean realm where they were, and he made a deal with Asmodeus, what is he, the god of the 9th layer, or so? He's the god
Yes,
of
he
all
is.
the 9
Yes.
hells,
Yeah.
basically.
Archdevil. Yeah.
And he's like, hey man, like, this sucks. If we, promise to help you with these battles, can you please just free us from these mind flayers? And so Asmodeus did. I named my next chihuahua Asmodeus. That's such a great name. Anyway, I digress. And so so he did, and they made their way back up, and they, the rest of all the dwarves were just like, hey, where have you been, and how come you're not worshiping Morden? What happened to your, your churches and things, worship Morden? And they're like, hey, we were imprisoned by mind flayers. Nobody came looking for us. No one helped us. What the hell?
We're still here, guys.
Yeah, you can do.
And they're just like not buying it. So they just gave him shade after all this suffering they'd been through, and Lodiger's like, I can't say it.
He
but
acted like just like that.
He
That's a
acted
good-
just like
yeah.
that. And so he's like, let's go back down. We were appreciated. So he took his gray dwarves, as they're also known by Durger, gray dwarves, and took them back down below. And that's kind of where they live and stuff. And just the whole attitude, their whole attitude because of their enslavement and their psionics.
Mm-hmm.
That was, formed on them and all this, all the many ways they got mind effed down there. They they just became these creatures who just slave and toil, and there's no happiness, and there's no bonding, there's no good stuff. And they will occasionally attack the dwarf brothers from up above, but there's no big, huge offensives. It's just kind of little nickel and diamond here and there because they know what the dwarves are capable of. This Lodiger guy came to be like, I am going to take Morden's throne. Like, this is bull poop. He didn't try to find us or anything. So that's his goal.
So what did you think about? I mean, so obviously you really read into this whole history.
I love
of
this.
So
I
did
love
you like
this.
it? Did you feel like it was well written?
Yes.
And
Yes.
do you find yourself maybe you want to play a dwarf or a Duergar?
Well, I might. I'm a little kind of married to the ranger right now, but yeah, I have a whole new appreciation.
Are you more
the dwarves.
Duergar or more dwarf?
Durgars seem, I mean, I know it's just playing a role, but you gotta kind of go with who you are, and Durgars are so, like, void of happiness. Like, I don't want to do it.
Well, they
I
would
don't
be
mind being a
down.
little cruel, but I don't want to be just, like, existing.
Well, I have noticed
So-
they got the traits now that you can play 120 feet on dark vision.
Oh, yeah.
You get
Durgar.
Durgar, yeah.
Yeah.
And you get advantage on saving throws against illusions and against being charmed
They
or
can,
paralyzed.
yes, they can be invisible,
Karma.
and they can grow, right? They can
Mhm.
grow to a little
Yeah,
bit.
they can
Yeah.
cast
quite.
enlarge on themselves at
Yeah.
their level.
That's
Only
pretty
in
cool.
So
large.
that was kind of cool. But they
Yeah,
don't,
it's pretty cool.
they don't grow to, like, giant size, right? They just
No.
grow to, like,
No.
Human size.
so, yeah. That
I
was,
was thinking
that was
maybe
cool.
do Durgar, I think it was of the Forge. I think that's Cleric or Paladin.
Oh,
One of them. No, it's Cleric because it's a domain. So yeah, do Durgar Forge.
I wouldn't want to be a Durgar
Yes.
because apparently they don't like to drink as much as dwarves. Because
Oh.
when they drink, they remember these awful mind flaying years where they were tortured. And dwarves, like humans drink to forget, dwarves drink to remember, right? So these dwarves, they
Vietnam
drink and
flashback.
they have their happy times. They remember things
Mhm.
that have happened in the past. Are happy, and Durgars don't really like to drink.
That's
So no way,
sad.
no, don't want to be a
No.
Durgar.
Sad,
So
All
I
right,
gotta
all
have
right.
my beers.
So overall, good section, I think, right?
I liked it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was terrific.
So moving on to
Man.
it's mine. Oh wait, go ahead.
Well,
You
see,
got one last
there's
thing?
one of there's like two
Mhm.
evil deities in the pantheon,
Mhm.
and one of them, it just kind of made me snicker because I have 12-year-old boy humor, and it's called Deep Dura. And
Okay.
It just kind of
Okay.
made me laugh. It sounds like deep doo-doo, and it just made me laugh. Okay, move on.
Okay, just remember microphone over there. So you got two.
Well,
you got.
know.
Might not heard that. Hopefully they didn't hear your poopy talk.
Shame.
Moving on to the gift. So I can tell you, really great history. They really dove into it. Great storyline. So, I mean, basically, if you want to know about the gift, read the book. But quick overview: they were an enslaved race from the mind flayers. They broke loose.
These mind flayers aren't very nice.
There's-
Jeez.
Yeah, I know they're mean people. There was an internal struggle, and the Gith split in two: the Gith Yankee and the Gith Zarai. And the Gith Yankee are more lawful evil. The Gith Zarai are more lawful neutral. And there's
It's
a
like
lot
the
of
United States during the Civil War. The Yankees. Okay,
well, kind of, not really.
I didn't do
Actually,
well in
totally not
history.
even related.
All right,
But
that's why I gotta
but I
do
love the history of the Gith. In fact, I found I was more pro Gith Yankee than I was Gith Zarai, though they had a great storyline there. I love to talk about the escaping from slavery, the breakup of the two, and they were basically led by these two leaders. The Gith Yankee is led by a Lich Queen
Nice.
by the name of Vlakith. And I'm going to go into why I was the bad about this whole thing, and it's tied to Vlakith, actually, to tell you the truth. But we'll go on that later. I really love to talk about their stronghold. The discussion about their stronghold in here and how it's on a dead god. I think you can get a lot of storylines in this. In fact, if
Isn't it on a different plane as well?
Yeah.
it is on the the plane of astral plane.
Yeah,
I believe.
that's right. Yeah.
That's right. It's the astral plane. And the way the Gith raise their children, so it's timeless in the astral plane. So, by the way, they lay eggs. So they take the eggs on the prime material plane, they hatch, they grow up, they get trained, and then only the best survive. And then they have to kill a mind flyer, and then they go back to
That's
the
reasonable.
country.
Isn't that how you
Reasonable.
grow?
Yeah.
But what I really
Get
love is the fact there's an opportunity for players to like create a story and for a DM to like, hey, I'm gonna have you guys retrieve something from the stronghold, and so they got to go to this district. And by the way, you'll have to read about this. It's pretty fascinating. But one of the areas, and the Githyanki homeland is this district of all the discarded people, because the Githyanki go and they raid, they grab
Discarded.
prisoners, and they go, I have no use of you, and they just put you
Oh,
in
so
this
they're
district.
alive.
They're still alive.
just discarded.
They're discarded, and so that's you can start an adventure there.
I know
maybe.
some people who belong there.
Uh-oh.
All right, so it was really interesting. Gitzerai, I thought these citadels are very amazing. These citadels that just kind of teleport to different areas.
Okay.
And that's how they launch their attacks. So if you see one of these things, like, stuff's going down.
Yeah.
Another way for a DM to go start a storyline is to have one of these things show up,
Oh,
and then maybe,
yeah.
why is it there? How do we get rid of it? Maybe we can help them. I don't know.
I see a
I
flying
love, yes, there's flying boats. The relationship between the Githyanki and the Red Dragons, I think is rather
boat. Probably
fascinating.
can't see them.
So they got
Super
dragon
cool.
riders as well.
They do have dragon riders.
Yeah.
And what is really cool is the fact you can play a Gith.
Yeah.
So you can play a Githyanki. Gives you a +1 in intelligence. All Giths get +1 in intelligence. A Githyanki, you get +2 in strength. Yes, Rebecca.
I have a silly question because I
Yes.
don't know things.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of Gith before. Is this a new?
It's a new
Race?
race. It's a new
Is
race.
it?
Yeah. It's
Not-
a race,
not
but
for
it's
this edition.
divided to 2 sub-races, though.
It's not like a new race created.
Yeah.
There was Gith in previous editions, but
Right.
there's a new full playable race.
Mhm.
Huh?
The Githyanki and Githzerai originally appeared in Fiend and Folio, 1981. I remember that book. I still have it. That's how old I am. So Githzerai, you can play that as a playable character. Of course, +1 in intelligence and +2 in wisdom. And also, both characters, you have some powers in psionics. So I think you both can cast Mage Hand. One can do Misty Step. So it's pretty amazing. And I really like the fact that if you're a DM, you can go in here and there's tables in here where you can run into a Githyanki raiding party or a Githzerai party. Also, there's a organization
They
called
have that for dwarves too.
Oh yeah,
Kinda
for
how,
each of them,
how
they're pretty
dwarves
good.
travel.
Yeah. And there's an organization called the Shah Salku. I probably got the pronunciation wrong, but
I'm
they're
sure
the
it's exactly
underground.
I bet that's right.
They're
Yeah,
an
the
underground. Well, it's always right if I'm the DM. An underground organization that wants to bring these 2 sub races together, which would be probably dangerous for the prime material plane if they were to get together. But the bad. I'll tell you what I didn't like about this, and it's very minor because I thought it was great writing and great art and very useful stuff if you're both a DM and a player, is this. Where is Blackhead? Where is her stats? Nowhere in this is the stats. In fact, I like the fact, and we'll talk about when we talk about monsters, but there's certain main characters that they didn't have in here. And I understand there are some cases, and we had this discussion, Doug and I, about, well, they're not going to run into, well, we'll go as Asmodeus. They're not going to run into Asmodeus. But I think it's cool to have the stats there. I mean, Vlaketh, I think, is a potential where you can run into maybe a Lich and maybe you beat her or not. But I don't know, it's just nice to have the stats in there. It's always, they've had it in the very beginning, and I think it does help the storyline if you're a DM to have these stats, or at least have a picture. No art on Vlaketh or Asmodeus.
I'm not really seeing much
Or
on
Asmodeus.
the Gith.
Asmodeus is in here.
There's not really much drawing of the Gith either.
Where's Asmodeus? It's not. No, the stats are not in there for Asmodeus or picture.
Am I thinking of someone else?
So let's go straight into the monsters. What did you guys think about the monsters? Um,
A lot. I don't-
Right off the bat, I'm glad that they added some new gift creatures that I would love to face and battle. And the one I would not want to face, because I'd be very frightened of, there's actually two, Demogorgon and Orcus has always been one that very, you always hear about them in D&D, and you can put them in your campaigns, but you don't want to face them because they'll just crush you.
Yeah, okay.
Orcus? Like the
Orcus.
whales swimming around
No.
Puget Sound? That, no,
No.
it's not.
No.
Okay, 'cause
No, absolutely. So what do you guys think about the monsters and anything, maybe Tomopose you didn't like?
I really feel I have a connection to the Deathlock. Currently I'm rolling a Warlock.
Okay.
And when they don't serve their master enough, after they die, they become a Deathlock, and they
Oh.
serve their master for eternity
Oh.
as an evil being, which is really cool. Now I'm really hoping my character dies in the campaign, so maybe Upari Feathermoon can become a Deathlock. That would be
Pretty
really, and
cool.
they're really cool looking.
So you
kinda
hear that,
badass.
Steve Maronik, our DM?
Uh-huh.
Turn him into a Deathlock.
Yes. That's my pick.
All right.
I just went on visuals because I didn't have much of a
Oh,
chance to
you're
read it.
getting Dougie's.
But I did. I had it before.
Oh no, that's fine. Yeah.
No, well, we can all agree. We can all agree
It
on
looks
this one.
disgusting.
Yes,
Yes,
it
it's the
looks
most
disgusting.
disgusting looking thing next to that corpse collector
So
thing.
The,
whatever
the cadaver
Cybrix?
collector, yeah.
Cybrix.
Yes, that's on page.
Page 137.
137 in
It's
the
just
Tomopose.
as ugly can be. Mouths and pus and bile and
Oh.
Gross.
just oozing. And I wish there was a soundtrack when you open the book to each creature. You could hear like the sounds. That would be awesome.
Or maybe a smell.
So I kind of just
Turn into
because it's so
smell.
disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Just that's all I have to base on that. I don't want to meet that one. However,
Mhm.
the corpse flower, I really like plants, and I'm
Mhm.
into gardening, and so yes, I would like to fight this one. 'Cause
Or
it's a
maybe
corpse
raise it.
flower.
Put it in a pot.
Or maybe
grow
have
it.
one. Throw it some
So-
corpses from
yeah.
time to time. I would,
Yeah.
I
Good
love
idea.
that. It's it's
Okay,
flower.
maybe we can do
little
that.
Sculpted, nasty ass flower. It's
There's,
right up my alley.
All right.
That's what I got.
Doug.
I picked out the Clockworks. I really like them, but they
They're cool.
have these.
Now, those are gnome construct. Well, anyone can construct.
anyone
them.
can
So they're
construct
made
them.
things. Is that
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, pretty much. They're kind of small constructs that people can make, and I think adding them, if you kind of like homebrew, like an engineer or something kind of like that class as a gnome, those could be useful. I really like those. I wrote it down here, the GIF,
Mhm.
the hippo folk.
Oh yeah.
If I can find it here somewhere.
Yeah, they're into gunpowder. Actually.
Yeah,
They fly
exactly.
flying
That
ships,
was-
Yeah.
That was not. Oh yeah, right here.
Yeah.
With the GIF.
Wow.
What page?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
page is that?
204.
Oh,
The
snap.
hippo people, space hippos.
Yes. Not so much, but
I
They're
didn't
in,
even make it
listening
that
to one of the podcasting foes right now, and they're featured in that.
That's
Yes,
like
and
a
Dragon Talk talks
It's
about
like a
it.
Disney character. That's so
Almost
cute.
like,
oh
yeah.
my god.
exactly. Yeah. I did like that they
With its
included
monocle.
the elder elementals, so
Mhm.
like Leviathan and Phoenix,
Cool.
and all of those. But yeah, just to
Okay.
kind of throw some larger things in there that you might encounter
I
somehow.
mean, overall, I really like this
Yeah.
book. It was worth the money.
Oh, yeah.
I was just
Fun.
the only downside was that certain characters were not in here that are prominent in D&D, like Asmodeus,
Val.
Glaza, I think that's her name, which is the daughter of Asmodeus, who rules first
Oh,
planet.
yeah.
Or not the first, I think the fourth. And not having Vlaketh, I think would have been, I don't know, I wish they would have added, or at a minimum, have the art in there
Yeah.
of these kind of iconic D&D characters or monsters.
There may be more books coming.
Maybe it's in a, yeah, you're right, maybe it's in a
I
different.
do like they had Moloch in there.
Oh yeah, that's
That's
right.
the
Mhm.
original artwork. Yes.
That's cool.
And he's been displaced, right? I think he's been displaced. He's no longer the head of one of the planes, which I also
Is
this
that-
this
One
is
of
a
the
positive.
were
yeah,
saying
he
he
got
was
exiled.
fired?
Yeah.
He was fired,
He was
First
fired?
line, exiled from the Nine Hells.
Bad
That happens.
conduct?
which I do like about this is
Good
that
conduct.
D&D has
Oh.
progressed and that there's continuity in here, so it's kind of neat
Yeah.
to read the storyline on this.
And if I had to choose books, like if I was comparing this to Xanathar's Guide,
Mhm.
I'd get this one.
Really?
I like this one better.
Really?
Yeah, even though Xanathar's Guide has more stuff you can do with your player, like traits and cute little comments and stuff. It's good. It's a lot of tables. I don't DM. A lot of tables I'm not going to use.
Yeah, remember that? The names, and the names,
The name
back
tables.
pages and pages of.
I'm going to roll. I'm going to go name my character Walter because I rolled a 3.
That's true. There's less table. There's less tables on this.
I think this is a
and
better
it's-
value.
Right. I can
It's
see that.
softer,
Yes.
Morty.
I like them both. I like this one better.
This is
If
soft
I'm
on
choosing.
the back. Just
Oh,
this
yeah.
one part.
Well,
That's a great cover too.
you know.
Oh yeah,
Both great covers.
The regular cover.
Now I have to get 2 vans.
So Doug, do you see yourself using
double
some of these? Maybe using some of these characters overall a good buy.
Probably yeah. If I start a new campaign after this one, if people want to do new characters, I
Yeah.
can give them recommendations from this.
All right. Well,
Cool.
I think we all give it a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
All right, so go ahead and buy it at your game store, and then of course on the 26th it's available on Amazon. But of course, you gotta support your game store,
support your
right?
Game store.
Come on, that's what we do.
Mhm.
So with that, I think we should end this review, and thank you all so much for doing it. Till next time, catch you later.
And we're back from this review of Mordenkaisen's Tome of
Yay,
Foes.
Morty.
Yeah, Morty, as some people call him.
Mhm.
I enjoyed
Familiar.
it. I liked the book. We kind of went in depth on some stuff.
We did
More
about
I learned a
30
lot.
minutes in depth.
I learned
yeah.
some stuff.
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
There's a ton in there we didn't even get close to talking about too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So yeah.
No, that's why we had to break it down in sections.
I
Wow.
never even heard of GIF before this book.
Of course, nobody can hear you on the video. when
That's
you say
right.
that.
It's okay.
That's okay.
It's
Okay.
That'll be our
It's
secret.
alright.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now you have to listen to both. But
What did Rebecca say?
what
What
I
did she say?
again, I really like the fact that it's both DM and player friendly. So
Yeah.
both
Yes.
DM,
Not too
your
heavy
player,
on one or the other.
You're right,
There
you can
wasn't
really
so
use it.
much DM
You-
stuff that I flipped 30 pages.
you can use it right away.
Yeah.
And not a lot of tables like Xenothar had.
Yeah.
I thought way too many
Lots
tables.
of tables.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Okay.
It's cool.
All right. I guess we call it a show.
I
Because we're
think-
good.
I
You
think
have
we're-
a
Yeah.
closing song or something?
That comes at the end, but with that, I think we're going to sign off. So embrace the nerd, and I hope you make that saving throw.